can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right?
Hopefully you guys are having one for today. My name is Waja and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best settings to use on FIFA 22 PC. Before we jump straight into it, if you guys are new around here, be sure to click that subscribe button, because we're on the road to 5k subs and we'd greatly appreciate if we could hit it. Drop a like on the video if you do enjoy, and join the Discord if you guys are a FIFA 22 PC player. And now let's jump straight into it. So as you can see, we are on the lovely desktop again, my messy desktop with my lovely face. So all we're going to do is we're going to load up Origin, because obviously that's where I play my FIFA. If you guys have not checked out my Steam versus Origin video or my how to boost your FPS for FIFA 22 on PC, I will be up here, or there'll be links down below in the description, so you guys can go check them out after you guys checked out this one. So obviously we're going to load up FIFA 22. As you can see, this is what FIFA 22 looks like on PC when you load it up. We're going to click on game settings. These are the settings I personally run on FIFA 22 PC. I'm going to go to the low end PC players first, mid end, and then the high end. So for the low end people, obviously play FIFA and have a laptop personally, or just don't have the specs that they could power through FIFA. What you want to do, the resolution to whatever you can put like the maxed quality. So like, say for example, it could be like 1366 by 768. I don't know what the laptop resolutions are nowadays. Make sure this is obviously maxed out to what it can be, because the lower it gets, the more blurry it gets or pixelated. So make sure this is the aspect ratio that your laptop is, or your computer, your monitor is in general. Next, make sure it's full screen, because your computer focuses on whatever is on screen, and whatever is running, it minimizes what's happening in the background stuff. So if you guys do have like 4 gig RAM, please, all the background stuff that you have on, i.e. some tabs from Google, or just like maybe Steam's open, or just in general, like just things that can obviously affect the game when you're playing it. Next, we have the rendering quality. Make sure it's either low or medium, depending on what specs you have. If it's like a i3, play on medium. If you have like a GT 730 GPU, I'd say medium could run that as well. But if you have 4 gig RAM, play on low, because you would rather have more FPS than having a better quality image game, if that makes sense. Personally, I would rather have more FPS than how the game looks. It's FIFA at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what the guys look like, because it's FIFA. And next, we have the MSA options. Make sure this is off, because if you have them on, your frame rate will lower. And make sure this is either locked to 60. If you're on a lower end PC or laptop, make sure it's locked to 60 and it isn't limited on frames, because if you have no limit to frames, all the background stuff will affect the game. So make sure it's locked at 60, or if you can't run 60, then make sure it's locked to 30. Next up, we have obviously the mid-range. Make sure this is kind of like my PC. I have an i5 8th gen processor with a 1060, so it's an outdated GPU, but it still runs very well for many games, GTA, Valorant, Call of Duty even. Yeah, so I'm blessed with that. Make sure it's obviously the resolutions on high. Make sure the resolutions the max it could go. Personally, I play on medium to high, depending on what I feel like. I could go ultra if I wanted to, but I tend to play on medium to high. I'm a person who wants more frames, so I maximize the frames by the quality, rendering quality. MSA options off, make sure that's off, and make sure it's no limit, because you want the more frames, you want the more games. And if you do have a 144 hertz monitor or 120 hertz monitor, I highly recommend you guys to not cap your game, because if you're capping your game and you're playing on a more hertz monitor, I think you need to get your eyes checked, or you can't tell the difference. So yeah. And finally, high-end PCs, play on high, everything the same. That's what I mean, literally the settings can differ. Playing on a laptop to a PC, it could be a different thing. These are literally the best it could be. And if you have like a 3060 and a proper rigged out computer, play on ultra, play high, whatever you want to do. It's the settings are all personal preference, and you could go to how your computer is limited. Make sure you check out the requirements, all these other things, before you want to obviously maximize your performance on your game, depending on your specs. Because like I said, I can maximize if I want to, but I don't want to have that. I don't want to have my computer to overrun when it doesn't really need to. I've had this computer for like 2 years now, so it's been maxed out to where I could play games. I could play ultra on certain games, but I don't want to do that personally, because what's the point of pushing your computer when you could just play the game how it's meant to be played? And for yourself. I understand there's no next gen stuff on here, but that's besides the point. These are the best settings for your PC for low end, mid and high end PCs. And obviously for audio, I play on stereo, but I haven't really mucked around with any of these yet. So you could play on stereo, you can play on 5.1. If you have a 7.1 surround sound, by all means boot that up. And voice chat's off, because why would you want your voice in game? It's just dumb. Be in your ball, joke your time with yourself, and stay awesome. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Adios.
That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell.